Most Americans think they already know what China looks like: crowded cities, traffic, and endless buildings. But that image comes from screens, not from standing there in person. Because the moment you leave those cities, everything starts to feel completely different. You start driving, and suddenly there are no buildings, no traffic, just empty land for hours. And that is the part no one really talks about. A country that feels completely different depending on where you stand. Many American travelers say they expected gray skies and pollution, but instead saw blue skies and mountains without any buildings in sight. Outside major cities, there are places where you can drive for hours without seeing another car or person. In the US, nature is often inside parks with clear boundaries, but in China, it stretches freely across entire regions. Some visitors feel confused because the reality looks closer to national parks than to the cities shown on television. During holidays, however, these quiet places can suddenly fill with thousands of visitors at the same time. This creates a strong contrast between empty landscapes and moments of extreme crowding. Many travelers mention that timing changes everything, because the same place can feel peaceful one day and chaotic the next. People often realize they only knew one part of China, and that part was mostly urban. After visiting, they describe China as a country with two completely different faces. One is crowded and fast, the other is quiet and almost untouched. What you are about to see next are the places where all these differences become real. Places that completely change how people understand China after seeing them with their own eyes. Mount Everest Komolangma, the mother goddess of the world, is the ultimate physical limit of our planet, touching the edge of space. On the northern side, the mountain exposes its raw, skeletal limestone face, standing defiant against the jet streams. Geopolitically, it is the highest point of sovereignty, a frontier that has witnessed the ambitions of countless nations. The tourism here is a pilgrimage of oxygen and endurance, where every step is a negotiation with mortality. The hidden secret. Despite its height, the mountain is still growing 4 millimeters every year as the continent pushes into Asia. It teaches us that the highest peak conquers your ego, leaving only a humbled spirit in its magnificent presence. Komolangma stands as a judge, asking us if we have the inner altitude to match our outer aspirations. Hailuogu Glacier, a river of ice cascading through the lush forests of Gonga Mountain, is a surreal collision of frozen eternity and vibrant life. Low-altitude glacier allows travelers to walk on crystal waves while surrounded by red-leaved trees and steaming hot springs. Geologically, it is a moving masterpiece of tectonic friction, with ice falls slowly grinding the mountainside into dust. Geopolitically, it serves as a critical thermometer for global warming, its receding tongue signaling the urgent need for environmental stewardship. The hidden secret. Deep inside the ice caves, the air is so pure it creates acoustic echoes that sound like the mountain itself is breathing. Hailuogu teaches us that fire and ice can coexist. Our inner passions and outer stillness must find harmony to create true beauty. The Himalayas, the abode of snow, rise as a divine frontier where the tectonic collision of empires is written in the language of ice. On the Chinese side, the mountains form a dramatic rain shadow, creating a contrast between white peaks and high-altitude deserts. Geopolitically, this range is the ultimate strategic buffer, a frozen wall of sovereignty that dictates the biological climate of the continent. The flora here has evolved to endure extreme UV radiation, creating resilient flowers that bloom amidst the harshest alpine winds. The hidden secret. High-altitude fossils of seashells are found near the summits, proving that these giants were once the floor of a prehistoric ocean. It reminds us that no status is permanent. The lowest depths can become the highest heights with enough time and pressure. To gaze upon the Himalayas is to see the physical manifestation of the sublime, where human ego dissolves into the biting air. The Kunlun Mountains, the spine of Asia, and the father of all mountains, form a jagged stone rampart that anchors the Tibetan Plateau. Geologically, this range is an ancient fold system, holding vast mineral treasures and glaciers that have never known a human footprint. In legend, it is the Taoist paradise, a bridge between the mortal world and the heavens, where the air is heavy with myths. The hidden secret. Deep within its remote valleys lie magnetic anomalies so strong they scramble the compasses of those who dare to wander too deep. Kunlun reminds us that some giants are meant to be revered from a distance, standing as the eternal foundation of our strength. The Tibetan Plateau, the roof of the world, is a frozen altar of spirituality, where the thin air acts as a filter for the soul. Averaging 4,500 meters in altitude, this massive uplift was created by the violent collision of tectonic plates millions of years ago. Geopolitically, it is Asia's water tower, holding the headwaters of the Yangtze and Mekong, feeding billions of lives downstream. The Tibetan culture, centered around yak herding and Buddhist devotion, creates a rhythmic life of resilience against the freezing tundra. The hidden secret. Despite the harsh cold, the plateau is home to massive geothermal fields, where boiling springs burst through the ice like the Earth's fever. It teaches us that the highest perspectives are reached only when we shed the heavy burdens of material noise and embrace the silence. To stand on the plateau is to witness the birth of light, where the sun feels close enough to touch your very spirit. The Gobi Desert, a rain-shadow kingdom of gravel and black rock, stretches across the heart of Asia as a formidable barrier of endurance. Unlike sand-filled voids, the Gobi is a graveyard of dinosaurs, where tectonic shifts have exposed the skeletal secrets of a prehistoric world. Geopolitically, it remains a vital corridor of the Silk Road, now hosting massive wind and solar farms that harvest the fury of the steppe. The nomadic culture here is a lesson in minimalism, where life flows with the seasons and the scarcity of water is a sacred law. It teaches us that resilience is not just surviving, but thriving in the vast, open spaces of our own limitations. The Zoyge Marshes, the lungs of the plateau, form a vast emerald mosaic of peatlands that breathe for all of Asia. As a critical carbon sink, these marshes regulate the flow of the Yellow River, acting as a natural sponge for the sky's moisture. Geopolitically, the protection of Zoyge is essential for the water security of millions downstream, a fragile ecosystem in a delicate dance. The hidden secret. Despite its tranquil appearance, The peat layers trap ancient methane gas that could reshape the climate if the marshes ever dry out. Zoyge reminds us that the quietest places often hold the balance of life in their soggy, emerald hands, demanding our silent respect. The Turpan Depression, the Oven of China, is a deep geological wound 154 meters below sea level, where heat vibrates with intensity. Surrounded by the Flame Mountains, this sun-drenched basin is a testament to human ingenuity through the Kerez underground irrigation systems. Historically, Turpan was a vital oasis on the Silk Road, famous for its grapes and its resilience against scorching continental winds. Geopolitically, it remains a critical hub for renewable energy, harvesting the solar fury that beats down upon its unique terrain. The hidden secret. The air here is so dry that ancient mummies have been preserved perfectly for millennia, keeping their features intact as if they were merely sleeping. It teaches us that even in the lowest depths of despair, we can find the sweetness of life if we channel the hidden springs of our soul. The Taklamakan Desert, a shifting ocean of death, known as the Place of No Return, swallows the horizon with towering dunes that move like silent, golden predators. This hyper-arid basin, locked between the Kunlun and Tian Shan ranges, is a graveyard of ancient Silk Road cities, buried beneath millions of tons of Aeolian sand. Geopolitically, its vast oil and gas reserves under the Tarim Basin turn this wasteland into a strategic powerhouse for global energy security. The extreme continental climate, with blistering days and frozen nights, forces a brutal adaptation for any life daring to touch its edges. The hidden secret. Deep beneath the parched surface lies a massive underground ocean of fossil water, a relic of a time when this void was a lush sea. It teaches us that what is visible is often a mask. True depth and resources lie in the silence beneath the struggle. To cross Taklamakan is to confront the void, realizing that our footprints are but whispers in the wind. Badain Jaran, the desert of the Singing Sands, features dunes that soar like golden cathedrals above sapphire lakes. Geologically, it is a miracle of groundwater pressure, where ancient moisture bursts through the sand to create a paradise. Geopolitically, it represents the heart of Alksa, a center for desert research and environmental conservation efforts. The nomadic lifestyle here survives on the edges of these dunes, a quiet existence shaped by the rhythm of the wind. The hidden secret. The dunes sing because of the friction between sand grains, creating a deep resonance like thunder beneath your feet. Badain Juran teaches us that even in the most parched desert, there are hidden springs of joy waiting for those who persist.